What is up, everybody? We're back with another MLB Slate Breakdown. Tonight we have an 11-game slate. If we go over here to the Games tab, though, we can see that there's some weather trouble here. Tampa Bay at Baltimore, that game's probably going to be rained out. Arizona at Philly, it's going to be raining throughout the entire game. We'll see if they get that one in or not. And Detroit and Pittsburgh is another one with some serious weather concerns. So for me personally, I'm going to be just taking these three games out of play, especially the pitchers. I think you might be able to go with hitters in the Arizona at Philly game and the Detroit at Pittsburgh game, but it's risky. So I'm pretty much going to play this one like an 8-game slate. And there's really no true ace on the mound. If we go back here to the player manager, you can see the top guys are Charlie Morton. Robbie Ray is in a decent spot, high strikeout pitcher, but that game's in Philly. So there's some serious concerns there. Kenta Maeda in a great matchup against the Marlins. However, Maeda, and similar to all Dodgers pitchers, he's not going to go super deep into the game, which limits some of his upside. Rick Porcello against Toronto, another guy in a good spot. And Shohei Ohtani, he got roughed up a little bit his last start, but is in a difficult matchup tonight against the Astros. So just looking at this, I think Charlie Morton is probably the top play here at 11,200 on DraftKings. You can see he started the season off great. Now, with that being said, he's had some pretty cake matchups against Seattle, Texas, San Diego, and Baltimore. All of those teams are very high strikeout teams, not great offenses. Tonight he has the Angels, who are a pretty good offense. So let's take a look under the research tab here. You can see that it haven't struck out a ton, only 7.9 times per game. But with that being said, Morton, for cash games is probably the top play. We'll get into hitters in a second, but there's plenty of value out there for hitters. For your SB2, or if you want to pay down a little bit over on FanDuel, two guys I really like tonight are Tanner Roark and Luke Weaver. As you can see, Weaver here, the Cardinals have the highest projected win percentage at 62% among some of these mid-range options. I think that makes him a good option on FanDuel where you really need the win. And Roark, the Giants have been striking out a ton. You typically don't think of the Giants as a high strikeout team, but as you can see here, over 10 strikeouts per game over their last 10. So I think Roark is going to be my SB2 in cash games, but I think Weaver is also a great play at 7,500. Switching over to some of the hitters, there's a lot of guys in great spots tonight. Christian Villanueva, he sat last night in Coors with a little bit of a hamstring tweak, but if he plays today, I think he's one of the top overall plays. He's underpriced at 4,200 on DraftKings. If you take a deeper dive into him, he gets a left-handed pitcher tonight, Kyle Freeland, and he's just been mashing against left-handed pitchers this season. This is unsustainable, but a plus-minus percentage of 148%. Met value on 62%. So Christian Villanueva, he's going to be one of the top overall plays if he's in the lineup tonight. Looking a little bit further, obviously some of these Oakland bats against Cole Hamels. He really struggles against right-handed power. It's a huge ballpark upgrade. Chris Davis, Marcus Semien, Jed Lowry. Another guy I really like is Mark Canha down here at 3,000 with the multi-position eligibility. That's going to be another stack to look at tonight. But I think my favorite stack, especially in tournaments, if we go over to the games tab here, is going to be the Dodgers. Now, their total is a little lower than some of these other guys, especially Oakland and Texas, who both have projected run totals at 5, and the San Diego, Colorado Coors game, both of those totals obviously over 5 as well. As you can see, the Dodgers total is a little bit lower at 4.3 runs, but they've been playing great recently, and they get one of the best matchups on the night against left-hander Dylan Peters of the Marlins. Peters, he's a young guy, but not super talented. Gives up a lot of contact in general, which against a team like the Dodgers, who are a high-contact team, it's a recipe for giving up a lot of runs. And as you can see here, some of these guys are great values. Chris Taylor in the outfield, I think for cash games leading off at 3,700 on DraftKings, that's a great spot. Kike Hernandez, if he keeps batting high in the order, he's kind of been bouncing between the 2 spot and the cleanup spot. He's in a great spot at 3,400 if we look a little bit deeper into Kike against left-handed starters. An average plus minus of 24% over the last year. That's pretty good. He has super high ceiling against left-handed pitchers, as evidenced by his 23% 2x value rate. That's pretty good as well. So Kike Hernandez, one of my favorite value plays on the night. And then another team to look at too is going to be the Cardinals. This team's been playing really well. Zach Wheeler, right-handed pitcher, he's okay, but there's a lot of pretty good left-handed bats in this lineup. Dexter Fowler, Matt Carpenter being among them, and then some of these right-handers also hit righties pretty well as well. Another team to look at is the Brewers against Ian Kennedy. Now, Ian Kennedy has started off this season pretty well. Got roughed up a little bit in his last start in Toronto. But again, not a super high strikeout pitcher, gives up a lot of fly balls. And the Brewers, they really excel against right-handed pitching. Guys like Eric Thames, Travis Shaw, Jonathan Villar. You can add that Lorenzo Cain in there if you want to. Hits right-handed pitching pretty well. So they're going to be another stack that's pretty popular tonight. So I guess the theme that I want to get through tonight is there's a lot of risk with some of these games early. In cash games, I wouldn't go toward any of those. But there's some good stacking spots with the Oakland-Texas game, sitting at over under of 10 right now. The Brewers are a great stack to target tonight. Obviously, Coors, and then the Dodgers are my favorite kind of low-owned tournament pivot tonight. So good luck, everyone. Make sure to use those RotoQL tools to the best of your advantage. Check back later before lock for the trending players. It's one of the most powerful tools in all of DFS, in my opinion. We'll take a little quick look here. Teoscar Hernandez at 3,200 on DraftKings. I mean, what does this guy have to do to get a price bump? He's just been absolutely raking. The matchup is a little tough against Rick Porcello, but against right-handed starters this season, I mean, just look at this game log here. We can see here he faced Porcello late last season, put up 19 points, DraftKings points in that game. So he's another guy, super value if you're looking that way. So good luck, everyone. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at DFSBenj. I'll be answering all of your questions right up until lock. Good luck tonight, everyone.